Stirring the coffee with chopsticks, using the vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee. Now that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Some people say steep the coffee in the French press for only 4 or 5 minutes. I do it for 9 minutes. The effeminate guys say 4 or 5 minutes. If you go too long, it makes a bitter cup. This is not a bitter cup of coffee in any form or fashion. I have a funny feeling it's the vortex method that just makes it perfect. Remember, they're not using the vortex method with their coffee. Once I ran to you, now I'll run from you. This tainted love you've given, I give you all a boy could give you. Take my tears, and that's not nearly all. Oh, tainted love, tainted love. Soft Cell, 1981. December, January, dry skinuary, March, April, right? February, just itchy, scratchy. Probably more lotion is sold in February than any other month of the year. Well, actually, it might be December. So like when the no-fap guys stop their no-fap November, on December 1st, there's always a run on hand lotion. Stop saying Valentine's Day. You can stop that right now, please. Never quit because of a bad day. A bad year? Yeah, maybe, but never after a bad day. After a bad year, maybe stop and rethink. Sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's the market. Wisdom is going to show you if it's you or the market. Picture yourself on Shark Tank trying to sell you to the sharks. That changes your perspective. If you can sell you to people that have where it's a tough sell, or that are hard to sell, then you've made it. You better get back, honky cat. Living in the city ain't where it's at. It's like trying to find gold in a silver mine. It's like trying to drink whiskey from a bottle of wine. Elton John, 1972. Jim Rohn, at 25 years old, he shows his mentor his first paycheck and says, "This is all they pay?" The mentor says, "No, that's all they pay you." I try to get out, but they pull me back in. Michael Corleone, Godfather 3, which I happen to like. Men take risks. They realize that what they want is on the other side of risk. Women want their ducks in a row, with only a few exceptions. Men sail into horizons, blast off into oblivion, put their actual bodies on the line. So, thank a man today. Religion that is pure and undefiled before God, the Father, is to visit orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself unstained from the world. So now that the state is the one that takes care of widows and orphans, because it all used to be done through local bodies, church bodies, what is left? Keeping oneself unstained by the world. How do you do that? Turn off the TV. Turn off the TV. Turn it off. No more news. No more news. The news is not news. I hope you know that. It's a spin to get you to think in a certain direction, to divide you, to divide your house, to divide your community. Look, on any election day, we've gotten down to the point where we have divided the country into two factions in the United States. Do you really want to hate your neighbor because they voted a certain way? Or do you want to be hated because you voted a certain way? And I don't care who you vote for. I happen to be a conservative, independent person. But I will still help this Jewish neighbor, that Indian neighbor, and that black neighbor in a heartbeat, even though I know they don't vote the way that I do. They look out for me, I look out for them. It's gotten to the point where people have, you feel like you have to take one side or another. You don't have to take any side. As a matter of fact, you can take the gloves off and step out of the boxing ring and let the idiots stay in there by themselves, just boxing air, because that's what they look like. Anyone who makes a living with politics, if you're not in office, getting paid to do your job as an elected official, pundits, people who profit off of talking about politics, talking heads on the news, and this is another thing. Since when did news become nothing but talking heads? Split screens with two people arguing with each other. That got old. Now we have 4 screens with 4 heads all yelling at each other. Turn off the fucking news. I turned off my news about 4 years ago. Best thing I ever did. 3 to 4 years ago. And I kid you not, it is, life is better. Life is better. Dear Mr. Bruno, this is a letter from a viewer. I found you on Twitter, Redman Group in 21 Con Videos. And I will just say the initial A. So I'm responding to A. Since September of last year, I've been working on myself and trying to improve my physicality in game. Good. I have gone from 215 pounds, 5'10", to 24% body fat to 187 pounds and 20.5% body fat. Good job. I target to go down to 180 and 15% body fat. I am doing good in this field. However, I'm struggling with the game aspect. I'm a good self-learner, but I have found that reading books on this are not very useful. I don't know how to start a conversation with a random girl at a bar or other place and take it in the correct direction. I am an international student from India, currently living in Santa Cruz, California. Please let me know if you want more information. With regards, A. I'm going to refer you to a friend of mine for coaching. I can't coach you on game. That's something that I do, but I don't know how to translate that to other people. I don't do that. That's not what I'm about. I help people after they've crashed, coming out of a relationship, coming out of a marriage, and helping make sense of your life. Surviving and thriving after a breakup is my sweet spot. I've never had a problem getting women. It's something, I never had to learn it. It's something that I feel I just have, and it just has never not worked for me. So I can't really give you advice on that, to be honest with you. but I'm going to refer you to somebody. Please email me, gb@georgebruno.com. Somebody who is going to coach you properly in that area. Okay. Hello, George. I am a 22-year-old guy who is trying to understand the world around him and how to adapt to it. I saw your videos about getting unstuck and becoming more sociable. Since you're a man of faith, how does one adapt to the dating and mating scene today? And what is the best stance to have on premarital relationships and sex with women? Thanks in advance. And I'm going to call that person B. I don't like to give personally identifiable information if it's not clearly communicated in a letter to me. What is the best stance to have on premarital sex and relationships? Now, ideally, you would date many women, ideally. In today, I'm not talking about in perfect situations where there was arranged marriages and so forth, where people were looking out for you. Now you have to look out for you. Number one, are you the best version of yourself? If you're not, whoever you pair up with will find somebody who is quote-unquote better than you or more attractive to them than you are. What happens is when you pursue excellence, number one, in your body, in your mind, in your personal habits. And when I say personal habits, like for instance today, I am part of the 4 o'clock club. Usually it's 4:30. Today I'm up at 4 a.m. I have a long day and I want to get a lot of work done before I actually leave the house today. That's the best version of me. I now have 4 hours to work here before the rest of the world is up. I have an edge on everyone else who doesn't wake up until 6 o'clock, who doesn't leave the house until 8 o'clock. That's the first thing you have to do, is arrange your priorities first thing in the morning. I start checking things off my to-do list literally at 4:15. I saw what I had to do. I started working on it. I kept writing. I pressed record. Now I'm doing the show. But I was writing for an hour before I started this. What is on your ultimate to-do list? What is the end goal of your life right now? Is it to get through school? Is it to make your first million? Is it to lose weight? Is it to muscle up? I would say right now, if you are 22 years old, you need to date. Get to know people. Coffee dates, activity dates, things where you are alone and your heart is vulnerable. Probably not good at this point. Most normal 22-year-old men, hormones are raging. Your hormones will rage till you're probably 40. Rage till you're 40. So you have many years ahead of you of a gorilla in a cage trying to get out. And you can be constructive with that, or you can be destructive with it. So right now, what I would do is seek social activities. And then if you are drawn to each other, and I know it's different than a lot of the other guys might say, if you're drawn to somebody in social activities, what's going to happen is you're going to reduce the incidence of heartbreak on both sides. And I'm not one of these guys that believes you just need to go around crushing hearts everywhere. What happens is you end up getting your heart broken because you believe that someone is the answer to your happiness, when the reality is you are the answer to your happiness. I don't know enough about you if you are out of school or what trade you have or what you are doing, but I would say focus on you right now. Where do you want to be this time next year? And start chipping away on those things one day at a time. A year is going to go by just like that. What are you doing right now to make yourself useful in the world and valuable in the world? One of the worst things you can do is to try to make yourself valuable to a woman. That's the worst thing you can do. Become valuable to yourself and to the world. and monetize that value. And then what'll happen is you don't have to work for women. They will come to you. I have a lot of experience in this. When you pursue excellence, you draw excellence. And you'll know you won't tolerate moochers. You will not tolerate losers. Pursue excellence. And just based upon the information that you gave me, that's probably the best that I can do right now for you. And with that, I'm going to say, everybody, finish your coffee. I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show. Don't forget to check out the links down below if you want to join the channel. Channel membership was activated and is live now yesterday. There's going to be personal exclusive broadcasts for you and you only, the inner circle of people who I will coach and interact with one-to-one. You're going to get announcements before anyone else, and it's only $4.99 a month, less than $5 a month. And if it's not for you, you still have all the free content that I offer here on a daily basis.